Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
Hey everybody, thanks for downloading the show. Last week I said that this week I would be doing the first ever Hanukkah episode of the podcast with the hilarious comedian Ashley Blaker, but unfortunately he wasn't able to be on this week, so we will be going in a different direction on this episode, and I don't even know where this one's going to go because everything I had planned is just right out the window. Another person was going to be coming over to record something for an upcoming episode. I'm trying to record stuff in advance because it's really hard to get with people this time of year. So I came up with some stuff to do a show with that person for today instead to make up for Ashley not being here. And they did not show up. So in both cases, everything that I was going to talk about was pretty much based around them. So this is probably going to be a quick episode. I do have some big news about the podcast meetup on March 2nd. I'll be talking more about that at the end of this episode. I did say that I would be doing a Hanukkah themed episode today, so I came up with a game called Yiddish or Quidditch. Since I don't have a guest, you can play along wherever you're listening to this, and if you want, you can let me know how you did by sending me an email, jason@wedon'thavecookies.com. Or you can tweet at me at JasonMarshall2. That's Jason Marshall and the number 2 on Twitter. I'm going to say 5 words. You have to tell me whether they are words from Jewish lingo or if they're from the Harry Potter game Quidditch. I'll say the words slowly one at a time, and once I say all 5, I'll go back over them and I'll give you the answers. Word number 1 is quaffle. Word number 2 is goy. Word number 3 is kibitz. Word number 4 is bludger. Word number 5 is bissel. Now that I've read off all the words, if you need time, just pause it, go back, however you want to do it. I'm going to go back over them and give you the answers. Word number 1, quaffle, is the ball that scores the points in Quidditch. And to be honest, I had to look these up. I don't really like Harry Potter. I was more of a Lord of the Rings guy, and every person on Harry Potter, they seem like all they did is take how the characters looked in Lord of the Rings and just morph it over. And somehow that really disturbed me, and it was really hard to get into the movies. Anyway, goy is a non-Jew. It's a Yiddish word. Kibitz is a Yiddish word meaning joking. Bludger is a ball from the game Quidditch from Harry Potter that flies through the air and gets hit by other people called beaters. And bissel is a Yiddish word meaning a little bit. So that was Yiddish or Quidditch. The email for the podcast went down a couple of days ago. I contacted the people that I have it through. They're a great Canadian company called Hover or Hoover. It's Hover. I don't remember how you pronounce it. They do domain registrations, email, all that kind of good stuff for a pretty good price. Anyway, I couldn't log into my email, and I couldn't log into my Hover account. So I contacted customer service on their website, and I had 55 people ahead of me. And in hindsight, I probably should have known that it was some kind of glitch company-wide, and that's why there were so many people ahead of me. But I got things squared away pretty quick. And when it was over, they sent me an email of the conversation. I'm not sure why, but I thought I'd read it to you. Courtney joined the chat, and she said, "Hi there, Jason." I said, "Hi, Courtney." She said, "Yes, we're having system issues that was causing some people to not be able to log in." I said, "Okie dokie." She said, "We were able to get this stabilized, and it should allow login now." I said, "Super, have a good day." She said, "Thanks for your understanding. Bye for now." And I said, "Bye-bye." That's Bubye. People who work in the customer service field, they have a rough job. They get yelled at by a lot of people. So if you have to talk to customer service rep, try to remember that. And if possible, help them have a better day, even if yours isn't going well. That's what I was trying to do there. And when I got into my email account, This email was waiting for me. The title is, "It is Better to Obey." You can visit the police station, but nobody will solve your problem. I am foreigner, so they cannot catch me, even for 3 months. I put a virus on your device. We had access to your webcam during your porn site visit. Now we will have video material with you, caressing yourself. Using your system as a remote desktop, we copied all your contacts, and if you want to keep this secret, you should send $410 in Bitcoin. This is my Bitcoin address. I will give you 30 hours after reading my letter to complete the payment. It is not necessary to tell me that you have paid. This Bitcoin wallet is connected to you. My system will delete everything automatically after payment confirmation. You can get 48 hours. Only reply with this letter with a plus sign. Bye. Don't forget about the disgrace. As you can tell, I need some money. So if you would be so kind, please go to WeDon'tHaveCookies.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, hit that donate button. I can definitely use it right now. I don't need videos out there of me caressing myself during my porn site visit. Seriously though, I do need a few bucks to put towards the show. It's hard to do during the holidays, so if you can, I'd appreciate it, but this time of year is hard for everybody, so I understand if no one does. Here is another email that was waiting for me. The person's name is Gilmar. Please, my sincere apology if this communication does not meet your personal ethics. I had to contact you via Medium because I really need to get in touch with somebody as you. I anticipate that this correspondence might come as a surprise to you, but because we don't know each other before, but since it is widely said that the connection between a man and his millions is another man, I am here with a proposition that is ordained to connect us to our destiny. I said a minute ago to go to We Don't Have Cookies, scroll to the bottom of the website and hit the donate button. I still want you to do that, but this email might be the thing that turns things around. I'm not going to read the rest because I don't want anybody else to get to those millions of dollars before I do. The first thing I'm going to do is buy a couch the size of my living room and a 4K TV the size of my living room wall. Speaking of TV, there's a commercial on A&E for the Leah Remini show about Scientology where they do an episode about Jehovah's Witnesses instead of Scientology. And there's a girl in the commercial who says, "They told me if I didn't do what they said, I would die. I would go to hell. I would burn for eternity." And I'm thinking, yeah, welcome to virtually every religion, except for Judaism, where you just go to purgatory. And happy Hanukkah, everybody. Anyway, I've been watching that show since the first season, and I kind of want to join Scientology now. It can't be that bad. Seems like there's a lot of structure and some pretty kick-ass parts, like a division called the Sea Org, which is like their own navy, and a compound full of mansions called Gold Base. It looks like a lot of fun to me, and sure, there might be some abuse here and there, but that happens just about everywhere anyway, and at least you have a chance of living at Gold Base if you're a Scientologist, so look that place up. It really does look pretty cool. I wouldn't join Scientology, but it has got my interest lately. One of the few TV shows that I watch the second a new episode is on is Live PD. I don't typically watch that kind of stuff, but it does seem like I've been drawn to more reality-based TV lately for some reason, but that show's really sucked me in. I think it has a lot to do with it happening in real time, and I've seen stuff on there that I wouldn't have known was a thing if it wasn't for that show. Like, I had no idea that people use needles to shoot up meth. I didn't see that in Breaking Bad. I just thought it was for heroin, but there are a lot of people who watch that show, and it's funny to see them get involved because it's happening in real time. So they tweet or they actually call the police departments. And a couple of weeks ago, there was a guy who was pulled over and let go with a speeding ticket. A guy watching at home saw the truck that the guy was in and realized that that was his friend's truck and had been stolen. So they called the police, and the police went out trying to find the truck that they gave a speeding ticket to. And because they pulled the guy over and he gave him his ID for the speeding ticket, they knew where he lived. So it was just a matter of time. Now they have a department in Columbus, Ohio on the show. And I'm not sure how to feel about that because I love watching it, but it's a little too close to home and my kid lives there. Not long ago, there was a police chase that was going on from one end of Columbus through Ohio State and ended on the other end of Columbus. I'm not really worried about her because she has a great group of roommates and lives in a good part of town. But when I see a car chase on Live PD in Columbus, I send her a text to let her know she needs to be careful. The police are chasing somebody. And then when it's over, I let her know that her city is safe now. And I'm sure it's annoying her, but I think it's funny. Another thing that is annoying that I've been doing when texting people lately is spelling out LOL as ELOHEL and JK as names like JAY and KAY instead of just JK. Not sure why, but I think it's really funny and I think you should do it too. So let's get that started for absolutely no reason. I heard a story on the news the other day about a worker at an airport getting in trouble for making fun of a little girl's name. The kid's name was ABCD, pronounced Absidy. Unfortunately, in the U.S., you can't really trust the news. It doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, so I don't really know how much the person was actually making fun of the kid legitimately, but I'm sure if you or I were checking the ID and saw that, we would snicker and just tell them like, hey, somebody screwed up your ID and just think it was a typo or something. So that's probably what happened and people blew it out of proportion. I really don't know. It was just a story that I heard in passing on the radio. But if the person was making fun of the kid, that's pretty screwed up, obviously. But the parent needs to take some responsibility too and realize that they put them in that situation and it's going to be happening to that poor kid its entire life. In the U.S., we aren't allowed to name our kids after numbers, so I think we need to extend that to portions of the alphabet before this kid winds up with a kid brother named LMNO. Just my opinion, though. I still have a million home improvement projects going on. I'm having the exterior door in this room replaced along with the storm door. I've been waiting for that to happen for a while. I was told in October it would happen sometime after Thanksgiving. Now I'm told that it'll happen whenever it's over 50 degrees outside, so I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but it'll be nice to use that door again. Right now it's not working at all, and it hasn't worked since we bought the place, so once I get that over with, I'm going to put up a light outside by it, and it'll be pretty nice. I had a leak under my sink and didn't know about it until it was too late, so I need to replace the floor under there. I got all the plumbing situated now, and I want to put in a nice access panel to the bathroom plumbing. It's in this little closet. I'm going to try to take care of that, put down baseboards in my laundry room, fix the kitchen steps that have completely fallen off the house, and replace the window in this room too. I just signed a contract to get the only window that hasn't been replaced in this house done. Just did that yesterday. I didn't get it done when I got all the other windows in the house done because I was planning on replacing it with a patio door, and the money to renovate the place started getting low, and I realized that I would have to move the heating duct and some electrical wires, plus I already have an exterior door in this room that I would have to remove and fill in because it would look weird to have two doors 5 feet away from each other if I didn't do that. So I scrapped the plans, and now I'm just getting the window replaced and replacing the door. Went with the same company that did all the other windows. I could have went with another company that could have got it done quicker, but it would have cost more, and the other windows have the company on the latches. So if I wouldn't have went with the original company, it would have really drove me nuts to see the latches all say something and then that one look different. I know that's really OCD, but it would have killed me. The bad news is they won't be able to do it for up to 14 weeks. And that's okay, though. I have a lot more to do around the house. I'm not going to get into all of it, but hopefully by March, most of the things I want to do will be finished, and I'll be starting on some landscaping projects I have planned. I was looking through Netflix last night and I realized there are a lot of good movies that I haven't seen. I'm thinking about posting Twitter polls once a month, ask you guys what I should check out. Classic movies like Schindler's List and Scarface, newer ones like Black Panther, Star Wars, stuff like that. A lot of my friends, they talk about movies and stuff, and they're always really shocked that I haven't seen, I'd say maybe 95% of what they're talking about. So I don't know. If you're interested, let me know. I might start doing that. Let's see. My wife and kids, they bought me these really atrocious pajama bottoms that have rainbows and unicorns and tie-dyed cat faces on them with clouds and stars, and a shirt with a cat riding a space shuttle. They got those as jokes for my birthday. And over the weekend, one of my kids' friends was here to spend the night. So I thought it would be funny to wear them while she was here. And we had pizza for dinner. And while we were eating, this kid is usually pretty talkative with me when she's over. And while we were eating dinner, she just would not look at me at all the entire time. Then when her and my daughter went upstairs, she asked my kid what I was wearing. She's a good kid. She didn't want to say anything to me in case it would hurt my feelings. So instead, she just tried to avoid me, which is the exact opposite reaction I was wanting. I was hoping that she would laugh and it would be funny, but instead, she just thought it was really weird and did not talk to me. The podcast meetup is coming up. It's going to be on March 2nd. That's a Saturday. Frequent guest on the podcast, Mike Canistero, will be there. Former guest and hip-hop artist from Cincinnati, Mission Man, said that he will try to be there to perform a song or two. For those of you who may not know who Mission Man is, I'll have a link to his episode in the show notes. The guy who made the cover art for the show, cartoonist Sam Deely, will be there doing caricatures of people. There will be a few prizes raffled off. Dave Nelson, who does segments for the podcast and is the host of the Comedy A Go-Go podcast, will be driving up from Florida. UFC Hall of Famer Dan the Beast Severn will be here from Michigan. Rhodey Young said she's going to try to make it too. John the Songman and Frankie McDonald will be calling in. There's going to be a couple of podcast tapings and a quick stand-up show. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you live in the area, make sure you stop by. If you live further away, you have plenty of time to make arrangements to be there, and I'd love to see as many of you as possible. I have one more announcement about the meetup that I think will make it even more fun. This is the thing I was talking about at the beginning of the show. You heard most of the people and things that will be taking place, but you haven't heard where it's going to be. And I'm happy to officially announce that the podcast meetup will be held at Dave & Buster's in Columbus. If you don't know what that is, it's like a grown-up version of a video game arcade inside of an Applebee's. You can play games, get some great food, they serve alcohol, so this event's going to be great. You do not want to miss it. Another thing you don't want to miss is my appearance on Mike's Cybert Radio. I'll have a link to that in the show notes, as well as his appearance here last month, just in case you missed it. And in the Christmas Carol, the most wonderful time of the year, they say there'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of glories of Christmases long, long ago. So in the spirit of that Christmas Carol, next week, I'll be telling ghost stories that have happened around my house and what the paranormal investigator said about it. I was going to do that for Halloween, but unfortunately something came up and I thought, hey, what better time to do it than Christmas time? It's the time where you tell scary ghost stories and tales of past glories, right? So that's what we're going to do next week. One last thing before I go. I've been saying that I want your input about what you like about the show, what you would want added to the show, what you would like to see less of or none of on the show. I've heard from quite a few of you, and I really appreciate you taking time to write me. I'm going to switch things up this week. I want to know how you would feel about me doing more solo shows and having fewer guests on. Maybe I'm just annoyed about what happened this time, but I've really been thinking about that a lot today, and it would sort of be like today, but I would have more to talk about. This was very last minute. Let me know what you think. Send an email to jason@wedon'thavecookies.com. I won't stop doing episodes with guests, just having fewer on, so if somebody cancels, it's not going to affect things that much. All right, guys, that's it for me this week. I'll talk to you next Monday.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review. See you next time.
ELOHEL